The Gospel according to Luke, chapter 23, verse 32 through 43. 2 others who were criminals were led away to be put to death with him. When they came to the place that is called the Skull, there they crucified him, and the criminals, one on his right and one on his left. And Jesus said, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. And they cast lots to divide his garments. And the people stood by watching, but the rulers scoffed at him, saying, He saved others, let him save himself, if he is the Christ of God, his chosen one. The soldiers also mocked him, coming up and offering him sour wine, and saying, "If you are the king of the Jews, save yourself." There was also an inscription over him, "This is the King of the Jews." One of the criminals who were hanged railed at him, saying, "Are you not the Christ? Save yourself and us." But the other rebuked him, saying, "Do you not fear God, since you are under the same sentence of condemnation? And we indeed justly, for we are receiving the due reward of our deeds, but this man has done nothing wrong." And he said, "Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom." And he said to him, "Truly I say to you, today you will be with me in paradise." The shepherd says, "Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they are doing." It seems like a strange thing for Jesus to say because they very much knew what they were doing. Nobody's ever been crucified out of ignorance or on accident. It's a very intentional thing to hold a man down against his will, to pry his arms out and pin them against timber, and then to nail them to that wood. It's not what Jesus is saying. What he's saying is that they don't know on the cosmic level what it is that they are doing. They don't understand the plan that they are participating in, wittingly or unwittingly. They don't realize that thousands of years before, after the very fall into sin of Adam and Eve, the very earliest parts of human history, God put into motion this plan, that this day would come. It's quite literal that somebody needed to be the ones. Somebody had to be the ones who would whip him and beat him, who would mock him, who would eventually kill him and put him in the ground. They don't realize that what they are doing is playing a part in the redemption of all creation. They don't realize that what they are doing is taking the action that will transfer the righteousness of Jesus to the people and the sin of the people to the Son of God. They don't realize that what they are doing is perhaps the most wonderful thing for us sinners that has ever happened. Even though it looks ugly, even though it looks painful, even though it looks absolutely horrific, it is still for us good. The shepherd tells us to forgive, even when what we are forgiving seems to be terrible and ugly and the worst thing that's happened to us sinners ever. In reality, worst thing that's ever happened to sinners, well, that's been removed. That's the sting of death. And not only the sting of death, the sting of eternal death, that separation from the Father. Our shepherd says to us, forgive those who don't know what they're doing. Forgive those who don't realize that they've sinned against us, but forgive those who don't realize what sin is, who don't realize and appreciate what forgiveness is. Forgive those who don't understand that the Son of God gave his life so that sin would be a thing of the past, that eternity would be given to us. The shepherd's telling us to forgive others because even in our worst moments, when we are figuratively and even those who very literally are driving nails through his hands, mocking him, beating him, whipping him, insulting him, and spitting on him, even then, he's forgiven us. So the shepherd tells us to forgive others.